Good morning. I'm Rose. I'm really glad you're here with me on Chatternest. If you're listening while getting ready, or maybe still in bed pretending you're about to get up, I see you. I've been there. So, this morning started quietly. My alarm went off at 6:32. Not 6:30. I always set it for 6:30, but somehow I pressed snooze without remembering. That tiny 2-minute delay makes me feel like I already lost something. Isn't that weird? 2 minutes. I sat up slowly. My room felt cold. Not freezing, just that early morning chill that makes you pull your sweatshirt closer. The light outside was pale blue, like the sky hadn't fully decided to wake up yet. I walked to the bathroom, still half asleep. The tile floor was cool under my feet. And then, there it was. The mirror. You know that moment, right? Before you fully turn the light on. Before you fully see yourself. I clicked the switch. Bright light. Too honest. I looked at my face and thought, oh, that's me. Not in a dramatic way. Just noticing. My hair was messy on one side. My eyes looked puffy. I leaned closer. Why do we always lean closer? Like we're searching for evidence. There was a small breakout on my chin. I sighed. Great. That word came out automatically. It's funny how the first words we say to ourselves matter. They kinda set the tone, meaning they influence the mood for the whole day. People use set the tone when something creates the first feeling of a situation. I touched my cheek gently. My skin felt dry. I tilted my head left, then right. I tried a neutral expression, then a tiny smile. It felt fake. Honestly, sometimes the mirror feels like a test I didn't study for. I thought about yesterday. I remembered laughing with Jenna at work. I remembered feeling okay. Not amazing, not terrible. Just fine. So why did this morning feel different? I stared at my reflection longer than I needed to. Do you ever do that? Just stand there a little too long. I noticed the small line near my mouth when I frowned. I noticed the uneven part in my hair. My brain started zooming in. That means focusing too much on small details, like it forgot the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, I'm just a normal woman in her late 20s standing in a bathroom at 6:35 a.m. But my mind didn't care about that logic. I thought I looked tired. Then I thought, well, you were tired. Then somehow it turned into, you always look tired. That word, always. It's dramatic. It exaggerates, meaning it makes something sound bigger than it is. We use exaggerate when we describe something in a stronger way than reality. I blinked a few times and leaned back. The overhead light buzzed softly. I could hear a car passing outside. Life was moving. The world didn't pause because I felt insecure. I grabbed my toothbrush. The mint smell woke me up a little. As I brushed, I kept glancing at myself in the mirror, like I was waiting for my face to change. While brushing, I remembered something my mom used to say, your face looks different when you're kind to yourself. At the time, I rolled my eyes. Now, I kinda get it. But knowing something and feeling it are two different things. I rinsed my mouth and looked again. I tried softening my expression, relaxing my forehead. It helped. A little. I whispered, you're fine. It sounded unconvincing. Like I was trying to talk myself into something. There's this phrase, talk myself into it. It means trying to convince yourself to believe something. We use it when we're unsure but want to feel better. I turned away from the mirror and walked back to my room. The bed was messy, the blanket half on the floor. My phone was glowing with notifications. 3 emails. 2 messages. One app alert telling me I didn't walk enough yesterday. Thanks for that. I picked up my phone but didn't open anything yet. Instead, I sat on the edge of the bed and just breathed. Inhale. Exhale. The room smelled slightly like last night's candle, vanilla, and something warm. It made the space feel safe. It's interesting how safe spaces don't always stop insecure thoughts. I finally opened my messages. Jenna had texted, "Don't forget the 10 a.m. meeting." My stomach tightened. The meeting. I suddenly remembered I had to speak briefly. Just a small update. Nothing huge. But now my brain connected it to my face. What if I look tired? What if someone notices? What if they think I don't have it together? Have it together is a phrase we use when someone seems organized and confident. Like they know what they're doing. I don't always feel like that. I walked back to the bathroom. Why? I don't know. I guess I wanted another look. Like the second glance might be kinder. This time I didn't turn the light on right away. I stood in the softer, natural light from the window. It felt gentler. My reflection looked less sharp. Maybe bright light isn't always the truth. Maybe it's just harsh. I leaned my hands on the sink and stared quietly. I remembered being 16, doing the exact same thing before school. Back then it was about different things. My eyebrows. My smile. My clothes. The insecurity changed shape, but the feeling was similar. That's kinda strange, right? The outside details shift, but the inside voice stays familiar. I noticed something though. Even while criticizing myself, I was still here. Still waking up. Still trying. That thought softened me. I washed my face slowly. The water was cool. It made me gasp a little. I patted my skin dry with a towel. The texture felt rough against my cheeks. I applied moisturizer. The scent was light, almost invisible. I watched my hands move carefully, like I was handling something fragile. Maybe I am fragile in the mornings. There's something about early hours that makes emotions louder. Like they haven't been filtered yet. I stepped back again and looked. Not searching this time. Just observing. Okay. There's a breakout. Fine. My eyes are puffy. Okay. My hair is messy. That's normal. I felt a tiny shift. Not confidence exactly. Just acceptance. Acceptance means allowing something to exist without fighting it. We use it when we stop resisting reality. But then, of course, my brain added, but what about the meeting? And there it was again. The pressure. I grabbed my hairbrush and started slowly brushing through knots. The sound was soft, repetitive. It calmed me. I thought about how nobody at work probably looks at me as closely as I look at myself. People are usually thinking about their own lives. Have you noticed that? Today, maybe pay attention to how little you judge others compared to yourself. Just notice it. No pressure. I tied my hair into a loose ponytail. Not perfect. Just neat enough. I changed into a simple outfit. Nothing special. Comfortable but presentable. Presentable means suitable for public, like you're ready to be seen. Before leaving the bedroom, I looked at the mirror on my closet door. One more time. This time I didn't lean in. I just stood there. And instead of scanning for flaws, I asked a different question. How do I want to feel today? That surprised me. Because usually I ask, how do I look? There's a difference. Feel is internal. Look is external. I didn't answer right away. I grabbed my bag, slipped on my shoes, and headed toward the door. The hallway outside my apartment smelled like someone's coffee brewing. The air felt warmer out there. I locked the door and stood still for a second. I thought, maybe the mirror isn't the enemy. Maybe it's just reflecting whatever I bring to it. That idea felt unfinished. Like there's more to understand. As I walked toward the elevator, I caught my reflection briefly in the shiny metal door. It was distorted, meaning slightly warped or bent out of shape. I almost laughed. See? Mirrors aren't always accurate. The elevator dinged. I stepped inside. My face looked different under that lighting too. Softer. I exhaled slowly. The day hadn't even started yet, and I'd already had a full conversation with myself. But something was still sitting there. A small question I couldn't shake. Why does my first reaction to myself tend to be criticism? I didn't answer it. Not yet. The elevator doors opened. Morning air rushed in as I stepped outside. The sky was brighter now. People were walking dogs. Someone jogged past me. A kid laughed somewhere down the street. Life was happening, and I was part of it. Messy hair, breakout, puffy eyes, and all. Still, the meeting was coming, and I could feel that small knot in my stomach tightening again. So yeah, that knot in my stomach? It didn't magically disappear when I stepped outside. The air was cool, but not freezing. The kind that makes you walk a little faster without realizing it. I adjusted the strap on my bag and started toward the bus stop. My shoes made that soft rubber sound against the sidewalk. Steady. Predictable. I like predictable sounds in the morning. They feel reliable. But my thoughts? Not so much. I kept replaying the meeting in my head. It wasn't even a big presentation. Just a short update. Maybe 3 minutes. But in my mind, it turned into this spotlight moment, like all eyes on me. Spotlight moment just means feeling like everyone is watching you closely. We use it when attention feels intense. And honestly, I don't love spotlight moments. I passed the small bakery on the corner. The smell of fresh bread drifted out the door. Warm, sweet, comforting. For a second, it grounded me, meaning it brought me back to the present. Grounded is a word people use when something makes you feel stable and calm. I almost went in. Almost. But I checked the time. 7:12. If I stopped, I'd feel rushed later. And feeling rushed always makes my face tense. See? There I go again. Linking my emotions to my face. Why do I do that? The bus stop had 3 people already waiting. A woman in a gray coat scrolling through her phone. A college guy with headphones on. An older man holding a newspaper. No one looked at me. And still, I felt looked at. It's funny how your brain can create a tension that doesn't exist. I stood there quietly, staring at nothing in particular. The glass panel beside the bench reflected a faint version of me, not clear enough to analyze. Thankfully, I thought about what I was going to say in the meeting. Yesterday, I completed the draft, and I'm currently reviewing the numbers. It sounded fine in my head. But then I imagined my voice shaking. Imagined someone interrupting. Imagined forgetting a word mid-sentence. My heart sped up slightly. This is what people call spiraling, when one anxious thought leads to another and it keeps building. We use spiral to describe losing control mentally. I caught it though. Just barely. Okay. Stop. I whispered it under my breath. The bus pulled up with a loud sigh of air brakes. I stepped inside and found a seat by the window. Not my usual one, but close enough. The bus smelled like fabric cleaner and faint coffee. Someone behind me was typing fast on their phone. Tap, tap, tap. The rhythm was sharp. I rested my forehead lightly against the cool window. The city looked softer from here. People crossing streets. A dog pulling its owner too quickly. A woman fixing her ponytail in her phone camera. There it was again. The mirror habit. It's everywhere. I wondered if everyone else had a moment this morning like mine. Standing in front of a mirror, judging something small. Or maybe some people just don't. That idea felt almost unfair. I checked my phone again. No new messages. I opened the front camera without thinking. Why did I do that? The lighting on the bus was uneven. One side of my face looked brighter. The other side had shadows. I frowned slightly. Bad idea. I quickly locked the screen. That's not helpful, I muttered. Have you ever opened your camera and immediately regretted it? Maybe today. Notice when you reach for it automatically. Just observe it. No judgment. The bus jerked slightly as it turned a corner. My body leaned with it. I tried to imagine walking into the office calmly, smiling casually, saying good morning like I didn't spend 15 minutes analyzing my pores. That phrase, like I didn't spend 15 minutes, is something we use when we pretend something didn't happen. It adds humor, but it's also kinda honest. I realized something uncomfortable. I care a lot about being perceived as put together. Even more than I admit. Put together means looking organized, stable, confident. Like your life makes sense. But what if I don't feel that way inside? The bus stopped near my building. I stood up, adjusted my jacket, and stepped off. The office lobby smelled like polished floors and coffee from the small cafe inside. The lighting here was bright but softer than my bathroom light. Thank God. I caught my reflection in the glass doors. Just a quick glance. I looked normal. Not stunning. Not terrible. Just normal. Why is normal so hard to accept sometimes? I walked toward the elevator. My heels clicked lightly against the tile. That sound made me feel more confident. Stronger. It's weird how tiny physical details can shift your mood. The elevator doors opened and I stepped in with two coworkers from another department. I recognized them but didn't know them well. Morning, one of them said casually. Morning, I replied, hoping my voice sounded steady. Did it shake? I couldn't tell. One of them glanced at me briefly. Just a normal glance. But my brain translated it into evaluation. She noticed your skin. She thinks you look tired. There was no evidence. None. This is what projecting is when you assume other people think what you're thinking. We use project when we put our own thoughts onto others. And I was definitely projecting. The elevator ride felt longer than usual. The digital numbers ticked upward slowly. 4, 5, 6. I checked my reflection in the small mirror panel beside the buttons. Again. Why can't I stop? Maybe it's not about vanity. Maybe it's about control. If I can fix how I look, maybe I can control how I'm seen. The doors opened on my floor. I stepped out quickly, almost relieved. Jenna was already at her desk. She looked up and smiled. Hey, you made it. Barely, I joked. She studied me for half a second. Not critically, just normal eye contact. You okay? She asked. My heart skipped. Why did she ask that? Yeah, why? I said lightly. I don't know. You look a little serious. Serious. Not tired. Not bad. Just serious. That word shifted something. I was just thinking about the meeting, I admitted. She nodded. Oh, don't stress. It's chill. Chill means relaxed and informal. People say it to reduce pressure. I know, I said, but I didn't fully believe it. I sat down at my desk and turned on my computer. The screen glow felt familiar. Safe, in a way. My inbox loaded. Too many emails. I sighed quietly. I tried focusing on work, opening documents, reviewing notes. But my mind kept jumping ahead to 10 a.m. What if my voice cracks? Voice cracks happen when your voice suddenly changes pitch, usually from nerves. What if I lose my train of thought? That means forgetting what you were saying mid-sentence. I rubbed my hands together slowly under the desk. They felt slightly cold. At 9:47, I went to the restroom. Not because I needed to, just to check. The office bathroom lighting was even harsher than my apartment. Why do workplaces choose this lighting? I stood in front of the mirror again. There was that breakout. Still there. Of course it was. It didn't disappear in 2 hours. I leaned closer. Then I stopped myself. Okay. Enough, I whispered. I realized something uncomfortable. I wasn't just afraid of looking imperfect. I was afraid of being seen while imperfect. There's a difference. Everyone is imperfect. But being seen in it? That feels vulnerable. Vulnerable means emotionally exposed, like your guard is down. I straightened up and stepped back. What if no one cares as much as you think? I asked my reflection. The mirror didn't answer, but something inside me softened again. Maybe the insecurity isn't about my face. Maybe it's about being evaluated in general. When you speak in a meeting, you're not just sharing information. You're showing competence, meaning your ability to do your job well. And what if someone silently decides I'm not competent? That thought tightened my chest. I splashed cool water on my wrists. It helped a little. I walked back to my desk at 9:58. 2 minutes. My stomach flipped. Jenna stood up. Ready? Ready as I'll ever be, I said. That phrase means you're not fully ready, but you accept it anyway. We walked into the conference room. The table was already half full. Laptops open. Coffee cups everywhere. The hum of low conversation filled the space. I took a seat. My reflection appeared faintly in someone's laptop screen across from me. Slightly blurred. Not detailed. Maybe that's how others see me. Just, generally. The meeting started. Our manager spoke first. Then someone else. My turn was coming closer. My hands felt warm now. Not cold. I inhaled slowly. Inhale. Exhale. And then I heard my name. Rose, do you want to share your update? There it was. The spotlight moment. I looked up. And for a split second, just 1 second, I forgot about the breakout. The puffy eyes. The mirror. Because now it wasn't about how I looked. It was about what I would say. And somehow, that felt scarier. I opened my mouth to speak. And for half a second, nothing came out. It wasn't a full panic. It was more like a blank screen. You know when your computer freezes for a second and you think, oh no, but then it comes back? That was my brain. Yeah, I started, and I hated the immediately, but I kept going. So, yesterday I finished the draft proposal, and I'm reviewing the numbers this morning. I should have the final version by Thursday. My voice sounded normal, not amazing, not terrible, just normal. I glanced down at my notes even though I didn't need to. My hands were steady, which surprised me. Our manager nodded. Great. Any concerns? Concerns. That word felt heavy, like an invitation to admit weakness. I hesitated for just a second. I could have said, nope, all good. That would have been easy. But something in me, maybe that quiet acceptance from this morning, pushed a little. I'm still double-checking the cost breakdown, I said. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Double-check means reviewing something carefully again. We use it when we want to avoid mistakes. There was a tiny pause around the table. Not awkward. Just processing. That's good, he said. Let me know if you want a second pair of eyes. A second pair of eyes means another person reviewing your work. I nodded. Thanks. And that was it. No dramatic reaction. No criticism. No one staring at my chin. The conversation moved on, but my heart was still beating fast, like my body hadn't gotten the memo that the danger had passed. I sat back slightly in my chair and tried to listen to the rest of the meeting. My thoughts were louder than the discussion. I did it. It wasn't perfect. I said, My voice was a tiny bit tight at first, but I did it. And then something unpredictable happened. About 10 minutes later, while someone else was speaking, I noticed my reflection in the black screen of the TV mounted on the wall. It was faint, almost ghost-like, and I didn't immediately zoom in mentally. I didn't search for flaws. I just saw myself sitting there, engaged, listening, part of the room. That felt new, not dramatic, just slightly different. The meeting ended with chairs sliding back and casual chatter starting up. Jenna leaned toward me. See? Told you. Chill. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Yeah. I guess I worked myself up. Work myself up means making yourself more anxious than necessary. We use it when we create extra stress in our own heads. She shrugged. We all do. We all do. That sentence landed softly. Maybe this wasn't a me problem. Maybe it was a human thing. We walked back to our desks together. So, what are you doing for lunch? She asked. I don't know yet, I said. Probably something quick. As I sat down, I felt the leftover adrenaline slowly fading. My shoulders dropped a little. But then, of course, my brain tried one more trick. You could have explained that better. You sounded unsure. You should have spoken more confidently. It's interesting how even after things go fine, the mind looks for improvement. Improvement isn't bad, but sometimes it turns into self-criticism. I opened my email and tried to focus, but the internal commentary kept running in the background. Do you ever replay conversations after they're over? Like reviewing game footage? Sometimes I do it automatically. Around 11:30, I went to refill my water bottle. In the break room, 2 coworkers were talking quietly near the coffee machine. Yeah, She handled that well, one of them said. I wasn't sure who they were talking about. Probably not me. But then one of them glanced over. Hey, Rose. Hey, I smiled. You explained that timeline clearly, she added casually.
Oh,
Oh, thanks, I said, trying not to sound surprised. Timeline clearly. That's not something I expected to hear today. My brain paused. See, here's the thing, when we expect criticism, compliments feel suspicious. Suspicious means you're unsure if something is genuine. I nodded and walked back to my desk slowly. That comment shouldn't have felt so big, but it did, because it directly challenged the story. I told myself this morning, the story that said, you look tired, you'll seem unprepared, you won't come across well. Come across means how others perceive you. We use it when talking about impressions. And apparently, I came across fine. I sat down and stared at my computer screen for a moment without typing. Maybe my fear wasn't really about appearance. Maybe it was about being evaluated and found lacking. Found lacking means judged as not good enough. That phrase feels harsh, right? I checked my reflection in the dark corner of my monitor again. Still normal. Still me. I tried something small. Instead of scanning for flaws, I looked for something neutral. My posture. My eyes. The way I was sitting. I looked present. Present doesn't mean a gift here. It means fully there, engaged. And suddenly I remembered what I asked myself this morning. How do I want to feel today?
I didn't answer it then.
But maybe I was answering it now. Around 1 p.m., I took my lunch outside. There's a small bench near the building with a tree that gives partial shade.
The air was warmer now.
The sky fully awake. I unwrapped my sandwich and sat quietly. The morning felt far away already, but that mirror moment still lingered in my mind. I thought about how quickly I assumed the worst about myself. Why is the default setting criticism? Default setting means the automatic option your brain chooses first. I watched a woman across the street adjusting her scarf in a store window reflection. Quick glance. Small fix. Then she moved on. That's what I want. Notice. Adjust if needed.
Move on.
Not notice. Analyze.
Judge.
Spiral. There's a difference. I took a bite and chewed slowly. What if the mirror is just information? Not a verdict. A verdict is a final judgment, like in court. Maybe I treat every glance like a verdict. That thought sat with me. And here's something a little vulnerable. Part of me likes the control of criticizing myself first. Because if I see the flaw first, maybe no one else can surprise me with it. It's like preparing for impact. Preparing for impact means getting ready for something negative before it happens. But maybe that preparation creates tension that doesn't need to exist. I looked down at my hands holding the sandwich. Steady.
Calm.
Nothing dramatic happened today. No one embarrassed me. No one pointed out my skin. No one questioned my competence. The only real tension was internal. That realization felt both comforting and uncomfortable. Comforting because the world wasn't attacking me. Uncomfortable because it meant I was doing it to myself. I finished lunch and walked back inside. In the elevator mirror, I caught my reflection again. And this time, instead of checking details, I just made eye contact with myself. Like, hi. It felt awkward. I almost laughed. but also grounding. Grounding again. That word keeps coming back. Maybe that's the theme of today. Back at my desk, the afternoon moved steadily. Emails, small tasks, a quick call. At one point, I caught myself starting to overthink a sentence in an email, rewriting it 3 times. Then I stopped. "It's clear enough," I said quietly. Clear enough. Not perfect. Not impressive. Just clear. That phrase felt freeing. Around 4:30, I leaned back in my chair and stretched. My reflection in the window behind my desk was faint against the bright outside light. And for the first time today, I didn't feel the urge to analyze it. I felt tired, yes, but not ashamed of it. Tired is human. Imperfect skin is human. Saying, in a meeting is human. Maybe the real tension isn't about the mirror. Maybe it's about my expectation of being flawless in small, invisible ways. Flawless is a heavy word. It means having no mistakes at all. And honestly, that's unrealistic. When the workday ended, I packed my bag slowly. Jenna waved. "See you tomorrow." "See you." I smiled. As I walked toward the elevator, I passed a full-length glass panel near the exit. I saw myself walking, not posing, not adjusting, just walking. And something inside me felt slightly steadier. Not fully confident, not magically healed, just aware. Aware of my patterns, aware of my projections, aware that the world didn't collapse because I looked tired at 6:32 a.m. Before I stepped outside, I paused for a second. And I want to ask you something simple. Tomorrow morning, when you look in the mirror, what's the first word you usually think? Just notice it. You don't have to change it yet. Just notice. I pushed the door open and stepped into the early evening air. The sky had that soft golden tone, like the day was winding down. But I knew this wasn't over. Because tomorrow morning there will be another mirror. And I don't know yet what I'll see, or what I'll think. And that uncertainty still makes my chest tighten a little. The evening air felt different from the morning air. Softer, warmer, less sharp. I walked toward the bus stop with my bag resting against my hip. My shoulders felt heavier now, but not in a bad way. Just the normal weight of a full day. The sky had that pale gold color that only lasts maybe 20 minutes. I always feel like I'm catching something fragile when I see it. Fragile means easily broken or short-lived. The bus arrived quickly this time. I sat near the back and leaned my head against the window again, like I did this morning. Same seat type. Same city. Same face. Different feeling. That's interesting, right? The outside didn't change much, but something inside shifted. I thought about 6:32 a.m., about the harsh bathroom light, the breakout, the tight feeling in my chest. It felt far away now, not gone, just smaller. The bus hummed steadily. A baby somewhere near the front made soft sounds. Someone coughed. A teenager laughed too loudly at something on their phone. Life kept moving. I took out my phone but didn't open the camera. That felt intentional. Small, but intentional. Intentional means done on purpose, not automatically. I scrolled for a few minutes. Then I locked the screen and just watched the city blur past. The glass reflected my face faintly in the darkening sky. I looked tired. Yeah, but I also looked like someone who got through her day. There's a phrase, call it a day. It means deciding something is finished for now. People say it when they're done working or done worrying about something. And for the first time today, I felt ready to call it a day on the self-analysis. Not forever, just for tonight. The bus stopped near my apartment. I stepped off and walked the last few blocks slowly. A dog barked from inside a house. Someone was watering plants on their balcony. Normal sounds. Comforting sounds. When I unlocked my door and stepped inside, the quiet wrapped around me. The room still smelled faintly like last night's candle. I slipped off my shoes and dropped my bag by the couch. And then, without even thinking, I walked toward the bathroom. Of course, the mirror again. But this time, I didn't turn on the overhead light right away. I let the softer hallway light spill in. I stood there. Same face. Same small breakout. Same eyes. I leaned closer, just a little, then stopped. Instead of scanning for flaws, I asked myself something different. How was your day? It felt strange to ask my reflection that. But I did. And the answer came quietly. It was okay. Not amazing. Not terrible. Okay. There's something peaceful about okay. Okay means acceptable. Sufficient. Not perfect, not awful. I turned on the light this time. It was still bright. Still honest. But it didn't feel like an interrogation lamp anymore. It just felt like light. I noticed the breakout again. It was still there. Obviously. And I realized something simple. It didn't ruin anything today. It didn't stop me from speaking. It didn't stop someone from complimenting me. It didn't stop the day from moving forward. That felt grounding. Grounding again. That word keeps returning. I washed my face slowly. The cool water felt calming against my skin. I watched the mascara rinse away in faint gray streaks. The day leaving my face. I patted my skin dry and applied moisturizer again. Gentle movements. Not rushed. While doing that, I remembered how tense I felt this morning. How convinced I was that everyone would notice something wrong with me. And I almost smiled. Not because I was silly, but because I was human. There's a phrase, make a mountain out of a molehill. It means turning a small problem into something huge. I definitely did that this morning. We all do sometimes. I changed into comfortable clothes and moved to the kitchen. I reheated leftovers and leaned against the counter while waiting. The microwave hummed. My body felt slower now. Quieter. I thought about that small moment in the meeting when my brain froze for a second. That tiny pause felt enormous at the time. But now, it's just a detail. Details aren't disasters. That sentence felt important. I carried my plate to the couch and turned on a random show. Something light. Something easy to watch without thinking too hard. Halfway through eating, I caught my reflection faintly in the dark TV screen during a scene change. And I didn't flinch. That surprised me. No quick scan. No mental checklist. Just, there I am. I finished dinner and cleaned up slowly. I like washing dishes at night. The warm water. The repetitive motion. It gives my brain something simple to focus on. Simple feels good after a day of overthinking. Overthinking means analyzing something too much. While drying the last plate, I asked myself something honest. What if tomorrow morning is the same? What if I wake up and the first thought is criticism again? That possibility didn't scare me as much as it did earlier. because now I've seen the whole cycle. Wake up, criticize, spiral, speak anyway, survive, move on. Maybe growth isn't about eliminating insecurity. Maybe it's about shortening the spiral. Shortening the spiral, I like that. Not pretending it doesn't happen. Just not living inside it all day. Around 9:30, I brushed my teeth again and stood in front of the mirror one last time. Night lighting is softer, forgiving. I looked directly into my own eyes. Good job today, I said quietly. It felt awkward. A little cheesy. But I meant it. Good job not for looking perfect. Good job for showing up. Showing up means being present even when it's uncomfortable. I turned off the light and walked to my bedroom. The bed looked inviting now. The blanket slightly messy from this morning. I fixed it a little before getting in. Not perfectly. Just enough. As I lay down, the room dark except for the streetlight glow coming through the window, my mind replayed the day one more time. The mirror at 6:32. The meeting at 10. The compliment in the break room. The evening reflection. It all felt connected now. Not dramatic. Just connected. I realized something very quiet. The mirror didn't change. I did. Just slightly. That shift is small. Almost invisible. But it's there. Before I close my eyes, I want to ask you something a little creative. If tomorrow morning your reflection could say one word to you, just one, what would you want it to say? You can think it. Or maybe even say it out loud. Mine tonight would probably be enough. Not perfect. Not flawless. Just enough. I turned onto my side and pulled the blanket up. The city outside was softer now. Fewer cars. Distant hum. My eyes felt heavy. And for once, I wasn't replaying my face in my head. I was just tired. And that's okay. I let the day end without analyzing it one more time.